need to practice common sense and socially distance.
Right now at 7, the governor reminding, urging, and in some cases chastising Californians to stay inside. This as he rolls out some new tactics to get California ready for the next stage in this coronavirus outbreak. Good evening and thanks for joining us again. I'm Jessica Aguirre in the studio.
And I'm Raj Mathai in our newsroom. This is a special 7 p.m. newscast dedicated to our health crisis. As we begin week 2 of shelter at home, there are many updates tonight and some more guidance, Jessica, not only from Governor Newsom, but also from President Trump.
Yeah, let's start with the governor, though, Raj. He said today California companies are stepping up, repurposing facilities to make gowns and 3D print masks. Bloom Technology in Sunnyvale and Palo Alto-based Tesla helping make sure hospitals have enough respirators and ventilators. But the governor now says we need to almost double the number of hospital beds currently available.
We have just shy of 75,000 licensed beds. We need an additional 50,000 beds in our system, where we're identifying convention facilities, fairgrounds. We're identifying specific assets throughout the state, including motels and hotels. Again, not just for homeless, but potentially to provide capacity.
Now, as Governor Newsom appears to be gearing up again for even more spread of the outbreak, President Trump is implying that the fight against the virus may be winding down.
We're going to be opening our country up for business because our country was meant to be open. But I said soon. It's going to be soon. It's not going to be 3 or 4 months, as some people were saying. And
now, in the Bay Area, the number of cases just continues to climb. There are now 867 cases across the 9 counties. Santa Clara still has the most cases, 321. Late today, the county also reported 3 additional deaths, bringing the total dead in Santa Clara County to 13. And Alameda County announced its first death. Across the state, there are more than 2,100 cases and nearly 44,000 nationwide.
Well, we are all making adjustments in real time. Over the weekend, probably a lot of us saw the news coverage, or personally, if you're out and about, you saw beaches and parks very crowded. That's all going to come to a grinding halt. Let's bring in NBC Bay Area's Melissa Colorado, who joins us in San Francisco. I think you're there right near Marina Green. We see a little crowd of people behind you, but not nearly as bad as it was for the last couple of days, Melissa.
Nowhere near the crowds that we saw all throughout the Bay Area really this weekend. Now, parks are still open. Playgrounds here in San Francisco are not, including this outdoor adult playground, if you will. It's a gym for adults. And as you can see, there's that sign right there in the middle that says closed. People seem to be ignoring it. And most importantly, I haven't seen anyone wipe down those bars.
It's really the last thing that I want to do. So I want to plead to the people of our city to comply with the order.
Don't ruin it for everybody. That is the warning San Francisco Mayor London Breed had for all the people who came out in droves this weekend to the city's parks and gathered in groups.
You are putting lives at stake. You are putting public health in jeopardy.
Breed's blood may have been boiling when she saw video of people hosting picnics at parks.
And what happens if it's cold? And what happens if we don't have a bed for them to be in because they got sick?
While the mayor considers shutting down parks, city supervisors are moving ahead with a plan to rent out the city's vacant hotel rooms and fill them with thousands of homeless individuals who are living in packed shelters and out on the streets.
Shelters right now are places where, unfortunately, are very dangerous in terms of the way that the virus could spread.
City Supervisor Hillary Ronan says hotels have offered up 8,500 rooms. Who is taking them? Homeless people most likely to die if they get infected with the coronavirus, as well as first responders who have either tested positive or were exposed and need a place to quarantine themselves away from family.
Hours matter here. We cannot talk about this for the next week or 2.
And back out here live, we have seen multiple people use this outdoor public gym area, but no one that I've seen wipe any of those bars down. Now, how much will it cost San Francisco to reserve all of these empty hotel rooms? The supervisors don't have an exact figure just yet, but they did say that federal and emergency state funding will be helping the city pay for that. That's latest here in San Francisco. I'm Melissa Colorado, NBC Bay Area News.
The guy behind you can use some hand sanitizer for sure. All right, thank you, Melissa. Well, from educating us about the coronavirus to now actually being diagnosed with it, Marin's public health officer is the latest person to test positive for the virus. Dr. Matt Willis recorded a message from his home after he got his own test results.
My case is further proof that COVID-19 is with us. That story will become increasingly common. While my symptoms are now milder, as most people's will be, we also know that for many, especially our elders, the same illness can be life-threatening.
This is a reality for health professionals across the Bay Area. Now, Dr. Willis started experiencing symptoms last week. He immediately knew to self-quarantine from his family. He doesn't know how he got the virus, but he says he was meeting with healthcare workers around the Bay Area to coordinate Marin County's response to COVID-19.
Well, Governor Newsom thanking President Trump just a couple of hours ago for the medical response so far. The president has ordered a U.S. Navy medical ship that will soon arrive in Los Angeles. Also, a federal medical center is getting ready to open here in the Bay Area. It's right across the street from Levi Stadium. You might remember Bay Area emergency organizations toured the facility to begin the process of converting it into a center for non-coronavirus patients as well as non-trauma patients. The goal is to, of course, just ease the crush of patients overall heading to our local hospitals.
Using federal bringing in the beds, the pharmaceutical needs, oxygen, stuff like that, things that we would need to care for 250 people.
That's a big process. There's no timetable yet for the conversion of the convention center. Well, how can we help with all this? That's a big question. Here's a way to do it in Contra Costa County. Donate medical supplies. Today, the county opened 3 donation sites where private businesses and people can donate equipment. The county needs goggles and face shields, also antibacterial and disinfecting wipes, those N95 and surgical masks in unopened containers or boxes, and medical gowns. Here's a look at where to find those donation sites. They'll be open Monday through Friday. You can see it there in Hercules, Pleasant Hill, and Antioch. They'll be open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, no question about it. They are the unsung heroes, the nurses, the doctors, all those hospital workers on the front lines risking their own lives to treat patients. For a closer look at what they're enduring day after day, we are joined now by Dr. Sujan Patel from UCSF. He's with us. First of all, we owe you a debt of gratitude for what you're doing for everyone out there going in and out every day facing this. I know that you, Dr. Patel, treated 2 of the first patients in the Bay Area. Now we're a few weeks in. Talk to us a little bit about the difference of what you've seen from when you saw those first 2 patients to where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here. So yeah, a lot has changed since the first 2 patients that we saw. I think back then it was pretty uncertain. We only had 7 total hospitalized patients at that time, and I had 2 of them. And it really was, I mean, it was scary. We didn't really know what we were up against, but I think at the time we didn't quite get the scope of how fast this thing was coming at us. So at the time, I was pretty scared. It was a lot of anxiety, but we didn't really know much, and at that time it wasn't coming as fast as it's coming now.
Dr. Patel, I saw a Facebook post that you put out, which is sobering, because in it, you quite frankly say that you expect to get COVID-19 because of the level of intensity of work that you're doing along with your colleagues. How do you go to work on the nurses and the other doctors that are with you every day, knowing that this is a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think, well, one, the predictions right now is that a lot of people are probably going to get this, up to half the population, and just understanding that there's a good chance that we will get it and that healthcare workers are high exposure. That being said, I do feel that we're well protected here. I do feel like that if you take the right precautions, and there's some reassuring literature coming out from Singapore and Hong Kong that if healthcare workers do take the right precautions, there is actually not a super high chance of getting it. But the reality is that we are exposed to it often. And what helps me come to work and helps me come to the front lines and feel okay about it is the fact that, there's a chance that I'll get this. But if I do, we'll get through it. And when I'm healthy again, we'll come back and keep working.
So what are some of the precautions that you're taking, extra precautions? Because you have to worry about going to work and being safe, but then you have to go home too, and I'm sure you have a family to go to. So how do you try to keep those 2 things separate enough to keep yourself safe at work and at home?
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of us, a lot of frontline providers are feeling, that angst of possibly bringing it home. So my personal practice is the clothes I wear coming to work, I change out of them and change into a pair of scrubs that stays in the hospital. What's really exciting about what we're doing here at UCSF is that we have a unit that the folks that work on there, the respiratory unit, when they come, they change out of their scrubs, they can shower, they change out of their street clothes, they can shower, and then go into the scrubs that they'll wear for the day and then change out of those on the way out. So we're really trying to keep it so that whatever exposures we get at the hospital, we don't take home with us. But you're absolutely right. It's a source of angst for a lot of healthcare workers around the country.
How are you dealing with the mental fatigue and knowing what has to be done on a daily basis and knowing that we're only just in the beginnings of this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think part of this, it's an interesting time. I think we're all very anxious about what's to come, but it's also sort of inspiring and a renewed sense of purpose. This is something we've never faced before, but it really is what a lot of us signed up for. It's what we do. And so the idea, it's kind of energized and activated a lot of people to say, I want to help. I want to do what I can. And we get to go to work. We get to face this. And so in a sense, I honestly haven't felt fatigued. I know it may come, and I know we're at the beginning of this. But I'm really inspired by my coworkers, by all the frontline workers, to come and work and fight this alongside of them. So to be honest, right now, I'm energized about this.
Well, we appreciate and we admire your dedication. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's a comment headline now. Another down day in the stock market. This comes after the Senate once again failed to approve an economic relief package. The Dow sinking 682 points. You see all the red on your screen there. The S&P and NASDAQ also down. There are a couple of bright spots here. We should point out San Jose-based Zoom actually went up today, with so many of us using that Zoom app. Well, as we kick off this week 2 of our shelter at home, the majority of our staff, Jessica, we know this, working from outside the building. And this week, where is Janelle? Is she a WFH? Is that the term?
Yes, exactly. She made fun of her day, though. She very busy, keeping Haley busy all day long. They worked together to make some homemade hand sanitizer since you can't find any. Check it out how they did it.
We're making hand sanitizer at home because it's sold out everywhere. And
yeah, this is everywhere because nobody can buy it anywhere.
Right, and all you need are 3 ingredients. This is my assistant. What's your name?
Haley.
Haley, yes. So all you need is isopropyl alcohol, at least 91%. This is 99%. Aloe vera gel, and your favorite essential oil. We're using eucalyptus today, but you could also use lavender or tea tree oil. The proportions are 2 to 1, so 2 portions of alcohol, 1 portion of aloe vera gel. The CDC recommends that the potency level be at least 60% for hand sanitizer to be effective. So this won't work. Vodka. This is only 40% alcohol.
Yeah, only 40%, guys.
40%, guys. So that won't work.
Yeah.
Are we ready to begin? Okay.
Yeah,
so we're going to do a small portion. We're going to do, so it's 2 to 1. So we're going to do 3/4 isopropyl alcohol. Please pour that in the bowl. And then we're going to do 1/3 aloe vera gel, 1/3 cup.
Oh.
And then we're going to use 10 drops of essential oil. Can we do 10 drops of this, please?
Sure.
And now you're going to mix it with a spoon first. And then you can take a whisk to mix it all together. And then we'll put our finished product in here, and then we're done.
Yeah, and then we're done. Everybody can get free hand
sanitizer.
Sanitizer.
Good job. High five. Thank you. Okay, here it is. Here's our finished product. Haley, we made it. What's the best way? You shouldn't be using this. The best way to get rid of the coronavirus or any germs is to wash your hands with soap and water.
Yeah, wash your hands all the time so you won't get that virus.
Yes, Miss Haley, I'd like to place an order for some of your hand sanitizer.
Yeah, 20 seconds like the ABC song.
Yeah, you sing the ABC song all the way till the end.
All
and then
the time.
All the time.
And then you wash the hands.
I know you guys are running out of time, so we'll let you go.
Yeah.
Have a teleprompter
job,
at
Mommy.
home because she is doing excellent. We will see her anchoring in a couple of years from now.
Excellent. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Up next, a Bay Area grocery store chain steps up for its employees. The policy changes happening at Safeway during this pandemic.
And what about the Olympics in Tokyo? Likely postponed until 2021. We talk live with the three-time Bay Area Olympian.
It's happening in your household, Jessica. It's happening in my household. Parents just juggling a lot right now, especially since the kids are home from school. And it doesn't matter if it's elementary school, high school, or college. There's a lot happening. So can you take a break now from work to get all the kids' issues sorted out?
It's a lot to sort out, too. We asked consumer investigator Chris Camaro to find out if a state law might be on your side, Chris.
Right, yeah, we want to know, does the boss have to give you time to deal with everything happening at home with the kids? Well, to help determine whether you're allowed to take time off, we turn to the California Department of Industrial Relations. And here's what it says right here, that employees at work sites with more than 25 employees, 25 or more actually, may be provided up to 40 hours of leave per year for specific school-related emergencies. And that quote goes on to say emergencies such as the closure of a child's school or daycare by civil authorities. And that's exactly what many of us are facing right now. All right, the other question, will you be paid during that time if you exercise that option? Well, that question is a little bit trickier to answer. Here's what the state says about it. Whether your leave is paid or unpaid depends on your employer's paid leave, vacation, or other paid time off policies. It goes on to say this. Employers may require employees to use their vacation or paid time off benefits before they are allowed to take unpaid leave. But they cannot mandate employees use paid sick leave. The bottom line here, check with your boss and HR department, see what they have to say about it. You can also call your nearest labor commissioner. Here are phone numbers for their offices around the area. I called all these myself today. These numbers do work. So San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland, and Santa Rosa, that is your nearby labor commissioner office. We are taking many consumer questions about the virus. Please feel free to send yours. Go to our website, NBCBayArea.com. Click Response from the main menu, or you can give us a call. The number is 888-996-TIPS. Raj, I don't expect you to exercise that option. We want you at work.
I will be here, so will you, Chris. Thank you. Olympic dreams on hold. It's likely the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo just a few months from now will turn into the 2021 Olympics, also in Tokyo. That's going to be the case most likely. Influential International Olympic Committee member Dick Pound telling the USA Today that this summer's Olympics will be postponed. He says the games will likely be pushed back to 2021, but the extensive details are still being worked out. As you can imagine, this is a billion-dollar decision. The IOC is not confirming, at least not yet, the postponement, and says it will announce the next steps over the next coming weeks. Now, NBC Sports, which plays a big part, of course, here at NBC in the Olympics, is the exclusive broadcast partner, issuing a statement about 60 minutes ago, quote, "We are prepared to stand behind any decision made by the IOC, the Japanese government, and the World Health officials with whom they are working regarding the Tokyo Olympics." Well, let's now bring in live from San Francisco, Shannon Roberry, a three-time Olympian on the USA track and field team. Great to see you, Shannon. You are always smiling, always waving to us. We've followed you around the world for, gosh, more than 10 years. What are you doing now? How are you responding to what's likely going to be a postponement of your summer plans?
Yeah, it's a big change. Quite an unexpected one. I mean, I guess it makes sense now, but, had you asked me even a week ago, I don't know that I would have expected we would have gotten here. But so much has happened in the world. And I mean, it makes sense, of course. But it's something that I think every athlete is wrapping their head around, and just trying to take a deep breath, pause, pivot, and figure out what comes next. To postpone something like the Olympic Games speaks to the scope and scale and intensity of this problem right now. And so, I think it's a smart decision, but yeah, it's definitely an adjustment for all of the athletes out there that we're gearing up for the summer.
Shannon, of all the years I've known you, you've always been so honest with us and also very in tune with your feelings. In terms of the physical part, we know that you can't compete and you can't train like you're usually used to. What's the mental health issue here?
Yeah, I shared with some friends and some family and also on social media that for me, the biggest thing has been the sense of loneliness, the support that I had come to depend on my training partners and coaches and, just those daily interactions that really fill my heart. I was just in such a funk, especially the beginning of last week when it all really started setting in and we were in shelter in place. And, I'd been feeling just all these emotions. And at the end of the day, when I really spent time getting down to it, it was this sense of loneliness. And so I've tried my best to connect with people virtually and find ways to stay in touch. And then these big goals that I had set for myself, trying to, as I said earlier, kind of pause, reassess and pivot, and, understand that, for now, at least, it seems it's a postponement, not a cancellation, which means that we still have an opportunity as athletes to strive for a goal. The date might be different, but those goals can remain the same.
And Shannon, a couple of quick questions as we wrap this up here. You are in your mid-30s. You're a mother of a beautiful young child right now. If it is Tokyo 2021, physically, are you able to do this now, continue this pace of training, and will you be there next summer?
Yeah, I mean, I am an athlete in my mid-30s. I am a mother now, but my training's been going really well. I've been excited with my progress. And so I was excited for this summer to have an opportunity to show that just because I'm a mother now, as it doesn't mean I'm, as I'm expired as an athlete, that I still have big things to do. There's a lot of question marks for me, my running contract, my race earnings support my family, and that family includes a young daughter now. So, when my contract is up at the end of December, what does that mean if the Olympics aren't until the next summer? So there's a lot of question marks for me. There's a lot to figure out. But, I'm hopeful that I'll have the opportunity to continue training, that I'll be able to get a sponsorship, continue my sponsorship, or get a sponsorship to continue to compete and represent my country represent the Bay Area.
We will send this interview right to Nike to make sure they re-sign you. Shannon, thank you. The graphic there says 3-time Olympian. We hope that's a 4-time Olympian. We will see you possibly next summer in Tokyo. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you, Raj. Have a good one.
Coming up, Local hospitals are testing a new high-tech tool meant to track the health of doctors and nurses that are working around the clock on the COVID-19 crisis. At least 2,000 emergency medical staff at both UCSF and SF General will soon be wearing this device. It's called an Aura ring. The ring tracks your body temperature and other vital signs that can help identify the earliest symptoms of COVID-19. The goal is to catch any symptoms early and help limit further exposure.
San Francisco's Union Square is reflecting the times and a growing fear of what could come next. Businesses around the historic shopping spot have not only shut their doors, but there you go, many are boarding up their windows. Louis Vuitton and Gucci are among the high-end stores that boarded up to avoid potential vandalism and looting. It is an eerie sight.
It's devastating to see the Sir Francis Drake completely boarded up and shut down. That's a lot of people out of work. It's a little alarming.
It is, and there is the famous Sir Francis Drake, temporarily closed and boarded up. Scala's restaurant next door right there. SFPD says so far, no evidence of any looting.
Well, up next, shelter at home with a shelter pet. A new change that makes fostering a dog or a cat a lot easier.